Welcome back, spooky friend. Oh wait, wrong monster? Hello, my spooky friends. Welcome back. This week we are continuing to work on the amazing Mary Sanderson. Let your goofball fly with Mary. Like, enjoy her, because that's what she is. I'm really sorry I'm feeling hoarse right now. I will do my best to talk with you guys while I can. If my voice goes out at some point during this video, I'm very sorry. So I'm going to jump right in. This week we are doing Mary's corsets or stays or bodice or whatever term you would like to use for this cosplay. For the bodice, I will be using Butterick 5662. It is my absolute favorite corset. It will need tweaking because we will not need the lacing from mid-range down. We will only be using lacing from mid-range up. So we will do some tweaking to that. I am going to have to add a little bit of width to the top and the arm size, because on this particular pattern the entire thing is supposed to be used with bias tape, so it doesn't have a seam allowance. For the bottom, I think that the bottom is long enough. We're gonna have to do a little bit of tweaking to it, but it will work. It is one of my favorite corset bodice patterns. I have used it tons. The purple corset that I was wearing in the skirt video is this pattern, completely unaltered, like as is. It's a fantastic piece, and it's one of my favorites. For the fabric, I know we talked about it briefly in my supply haul video. I will talk about it again. This fabric is really nice. It's got the chypre texture to it in this dark burgundy, but when you move the fluff aside, the underlining is black. You can actually tell from the back side that it's black. It reads as a home deck fabric. It reads as a wool. And so I think that that's why this is ideal for Mary's bodices. But it also is a little bit stretchy. It is a sweater knit. It's just called Talio Curly Q Bounce Red. It is called red, but I'm promising you, I know in here it reads almost the same color as my orange dress, but it is a much more of a wine color, like a Bordeaux. Now, here's the next thing. Mary has rings hanging from the base of her stays or corset. I interpret them as skirt hikes. I will refer to them as skirt hikes. If they're not skirt hikes, I'm sorry if I'm offending you for calling them skirt hikes. But as an avid fairgoer, I wear skirt hikes. Granted, mine hang from a belt. So, but the fact that this is attached to the bottom side of her stays is also cool. So to get these, I did a little digging and I found a variety of things that you can utilize in order to achieve this look on a budget. I am going to be using 2-inch metal rings. These are the rings that I actually use for my skirt hikes. They're not as large as Mary's are. I didn't want to go up to 3-inch because that's the 3-inch. They're massive. And they're also very weighty. While I have them, they're huge. Like, you can hear that. Can you hear that? That's what I'd be hearing all day long. You could also go with, you would find these in the craft store where the macrame is, and being as macrame is like trendy again, shouldn't be too hard to find wooden rings. In using these, I would stain them maybe a dark oak walnut color. Maybe put some gold flecks into that so that it casts a little bit of a sheen. I don't know. The other thought that I had is get yourself over to Dollar Tree. Curtain things, shower curtain rings. These are a really great size. Mine were clear, but if you come across shower curtain rings that are already a metal color, grab them. That would make a really ideal option for Mary's skirt hikes. The last option that I thought of, I did not purchase, bracelets at Walmart. These are really cute. I think it was like $5 for the set. That would also be a really good ideal option for her skirt hikes. You could leave them gold, you could spray paint them, but there's tons of great options out there for how you could do this. All right, enough chit chat, let's get sewing. I am going to start working on Mary's skirt hikes. I'm starting, oh my god, it's starting to rain. Can you guys hear the rain? I hope you guys can hear this because this is my favorite. Super moody, puts me totally in the mood for the Sanderson sisters. So I'm going to start off with my stainless steel skirt hikes. Stainless steel skirt hikes. Stainless steel skirt hikes. I'm going to start off with my stainless steel skirt hikes, but I'm going to be using them more as like an armature. And I'm going to build them up with Model Magic. I think between using some clay tools and some jewelry that I already have, I might be able to make imprints in them that kind of replicates or emulates the ornate design that is in Mary's skirt hikes. I hope. So I'm gonna flip you around so you guys can see what I'm doing on my desk, and yeah. I coated my metal rings in my Model Magic and smooshed it around in my fingers quite a bit. I did have to work this a lot in order to get it smooth, to get it even, and I just kept my fingers pretty much in the same position and rotated the rings throughout my hands, and that helped even it all out. Once I had 4 evenly sized and shaped onion rings, I used a little bit of water on the tip of my finger to smooth out all of my seams. I then decided to use a decorative agulette as a rolling pin and rolled it into the clay with the hopes that it would leave an imprint into the Model Magic and sort of leave that florally print. I then decided to shove these little floral bead caps into the clay. I found them in my bucket of findings, and I thought they kind of had a really cool vintage vibe to them. At this point, I'm just kind of hoping that they'll leave a little bit of an impression in the Model Magic. I am going to leave this all to dry. I did start to notice that the Model Magic, it had a little bit too much bounce back for how fine detail these little jobbies are that I was using as rolling pins. So I'm gonna let these flowers actually dry overnight in there, and hopefully it leaves the imprints. We'll see what the morning brings. I really like the color blackish, goldish green that gives. Oh, I really like that. I completely coated the skirt hikes in the black color shift and then let that dry for a few minutes. Once I felt that was dry enough to the touch, I created a 50-50 mixture of the antique copper and some water. I realize this may undermine the copper paint a little bit, but I'm kind of okay with it. I just want to make a wash, and what will happen is the paint will sink into the nooks and crannies and crevices, and then I'm going to dab with a paper towel to suck up most of the excess water, and it will give it a little bit of an aging effect. When I finished with that, I went back with a dry boar hair bristle brush to dry brush more of the black color shift on top. So there's 3 layers there total. So I pulled some black, I don't even know what to call this, stuff. It's kind of thick, but not quite suiting. I'd originally purchased it to make my daughter's Harry Potter robes. I had 1.5 yards left over. And so I'm going to use this as the lining to go underneath that. Okay, here's the original bodice front piece. In transferring this pattern, I'm not going to keep the hole markings for the eyelets. I am going to keep the boning markings, and I'm going to keep the side and bottom intact. For the front, I'm going to give myself an extra 1/2 inch because I do loosely lace this enough to where my front and my back don't perfectly touch. And then I'm going to give myself a 5/8 inch seam allowance here. Otherwise, it's going to be identical. I called it done last night after getting everything cut out, and sat and I pondered, and I decided that I am going to skip the boning process on this bodice, mostly because I don't need to control my chunk in this particular bodice. I'm just gonna own it. And I really, whether Kathy's bodice is boned or not, I don't care. If you want to bone yours when you make yours, have fun with it. Go for it. I personally don't feel like in this particular one it's necessary. So I will save my boning for ones that I do care. So I'm pretty much going to assemble this according to the package instructions up to the point where I need to sew them together at the neckline. So I'm going to assemble, and I will show you what I come up with. Okay, this is pretty much done. I've got a little bit of finishing details to finish up. My interior side seams need to be sewn shut. Grommets, and lacing, and that should be the end of it. Oh, and the rings. I still have to, I'm going to hand tack the rings to the hem of this, and I will see you guys in the reveal. Okay. This one took a lot longer to finish than I anticipated, partially because I was sick for more than a few days and did absolutely nothing. And partially because the little skirt rings took forever to dry. With the rain and the storms, we had a lot of humidity, which caused the Model Magic to take forever to dry. I'm glad that I used Model Magic to make them because they're incredibly lightweight, and so it doesn't add any extra bulk or weight to the bodice. I am super happy it came out well, but it is warm. She's warm, my friends. So I don't know that there's anything that I would change, except for maybe I might use something else as the lining, something significantly lighter weight, or maybe just cotton to take some of that weight out. I went with the polyester that I had on hand, A, because I already had it, and B, because it's stable. I mean, overall, not the best reason to make the choice that I made, but I'm still happy with the finished product. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a win. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to comment, and I will see you guys next week for more fun fabric and shenanigans. Definitely come back to see what Mary gets next. We're running out of options. Why is the spring in my boom arm not locking? I'm not doing this all the way up here like this. I guess I'll hold it.